YouTube, what's going on? I decided to throw up a video today about some of the equipment that I use. I watch a lot of videos on YouTube and I see people talking about the stuff that they use, and I don't use anything really out of the ordinary or anything that's that spectacular, but it works for me. See a lot of guys on YouTube playing the really high-end basses, the MTDs, the Federas, all that stuff, and I'm glad that they're able to afford those, but I'm not. So I make it do what it do with what I have. So the first bass I want to show you, it's my Fender Mexican Deluxe 5-string jazz bass. It's actually, I bought this bass brand new, but I had it refinished. Had all of the lacquer and stuff taken off the top of it. It's got this beautiful nitrocellulose finish now. It's kind of like a satin finish, but it looks a lot older than what it is. Actually a brand new bass, as you can see from the back. But it plays beautiful. I mean, it's one of the best basses I've played. But it's kind of hit or miss depending on what you get. I'll run through a few of the sounds and stuff that you can get out of it. First finger style is so I mean you get some I mean pretty much run-the-mill standard jazz bass sounds. I mean it's pretty much in tune up the neck too. I mean you can chord on it and stuff like that. And I've got my action set really low on jazz basses versus some of the other basses I've played. The jazz basses tend to have a higher action, but right now on here I've got DR high beams, which is my string of choice for my jazz bass. I'm a jazz bass advocate. I think that pretty much everybody should have one. It's the most versatile bass I've ever owned. But and I guess I'll let you hear the slap tone. Slap tone's pretty good too. I mean, so I mean, it pretty much standard Fender tone. It's a great bass. Think they run brand new around $749, $799, depending on where you get them from. But and I'm playing through just a really simple 90-watt amp. Nothing really that spectacular. It's just my practice amp. But the next one that I have, and only other one, is a Schecter Custom 5. I actually bought this bass used, got a really great deal on it. I'm not gonna tell you how much I paid, but they usually run somewhere between $550, $600, and I got mine for less than half of that. But this one, I mean, has a pretty different sound. I mean, active has EMGs. I've got Diodario's on here, just so I can play a little faster. And I actually use the stuff called GHS Fast Fret on all my basses. It keeps the strings really bright for a really long time, and actually, it really allows you to move up and down the fretboard really quickly. But I'll play the same thing that I played on the other one just to kind of give you a sense of what it sounds like. Yeah, so this one is a bit more lively than the other one. I like this one. I played in church and stuff like that. It's just better for live applications and stuff. I mean, plus, I mean, it looks a little better and a little different than the other one. But so that's it for my basses. As far as effects, I really don't use a lot of effects. I just use one unit for everything. I mean, every now and then I want to throw in some compression, maybe a little filter, something like that. But what I use is called a Zoom B9.1 UT, and these things are amazing. Like I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, don't buy a multi-effects unit. They don't do one thing really well. They do a bunch of things really, kind of middle of the road." But that one's actually really good. I mean, you have to spend a little bit more money on it. It's about $300, 350, depending on where you go to get it. But I mean, I think it's great. As far as cables, I found these at Sam Ash not too long ago. They're called Pig Hog cables, and these things are some of the most sturdy, durable cables I've ever seen. They're really, really heavy gauge cables, and I've got this one which I actually run from my effects pedal into my amp, and I've also got another angled one that I use with my basses. But I mean, those cables are great. I mean, they have that monster cable tone, and kind of like that dynamic frequency range like the monster cables do, but they cost probably about half of what the monster cables do. So and for practice purposes, whenever I'm practicing and stuff like that and don't want to really turn it up and bug the neighbors or anything like that, I actually use this Tascam bass trainer. And it's really good because it allows you to slow down whatever it is that you're trying to play, really listen to it, and really, get the bass line in the form that it's supposed to be, which is great for people like me because I'm still working on my ear training. So, it's just one of those things. As far as anything else, I told you about this fast fret. I can't say enough about it. It comes with the actual fast fret itself is in kind of like this wooden dowel type of thing, and the cloth to wipe it off with. But I mean, we all know bass strings are expensive. If you want to keep the strings on your bass for 2 and 3 months with them sounding just like they're out of the pack, you get some fast fret. It'll do it for you. But that's pretty much it. And any questions or anything, hit me up in a private message or post a comment. But y'all be blessed.